And it's like one of the things I posted last week, that struggles are an opportunity to build faith, not a punishment. And a lot of times, when we get into hard times, it feels like a punishment. We think, God, oh, what am I doing wrong?
So true.
And even though you're not doing anything wrong, but there's things that you can do right.
Right.
And so it's a learning opportunity, but not necessarily a punishment.
Sure.
I think the scripture says something like any trial as you're going through it is not pleasurable.
Right.
But afterwards, it reaps a lot of something or other.
That's right.
Whatever that scripture says that I can't quite remember at the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I can always remember.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pick and choose words that in the scripture that I can remember, but I can never remember like what book or what chapter.
Well, I mean, to me, people that quote chapter and verse are just showing off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and Paul 4:16, which I guess I am Paul, right?
Well, you remember that guy Jack Van Impe? Jack, well, he's no longer with us, but Jack Van Impe.
Okay, I think
he had a TV show.
Yeah, I think I remember.
He was into like end time stuff, and
right.
And he knew the entire Bible, and you knew this because he quoted every single verse. I mean, just by memory,
Right.
I mean, chapter, verse, reference. I mean, this guy was like a walking Bible.
Right.
I was always jealous of that. So was that showing off? You think he was showing off when he did that?
To me, I think some of these guys when they're doing that, it seems like they're showing off.
I was still.
They got that self-righteous and Peter 2 Peter 3:12. And and then they rattle it off, and to me, it's just.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but if you got the brain for it, I mean, I wouldn't say use it like flaunt it.
Right.
But if you got the brain for it, I would. I mean, if I was able to do that, I wouldn't be like, so according to this and this and this and this,
right.
Da 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 da. And I would just talk like a normal.
Well, and that's why I kind of feel I can quote all kind of verses of scripture.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you where it's at in the Bible.
Right.
And sometimes I got an idea, Hebrews, Romans, but I couldn't tell you exactly what chapter and what verse.
Sure.
And sometimes I don't always quote it the exact same way, but I would quote it in a way that I'm remembering it in my own language,
Right.
So sometimes I paraphrase it in what I understand it,
I want to go back to the suffering thing that you were talking about, because I think that is so crucial. That's so key because you hit on a good point. Was that the suffering that you have to endure is not necessarily a punishment. We shouldn't look at it that way, right? Because it's something that.
But it's our reaction to look at it that way.
It sometimes is, but the Bible does say that if you do wrong, of course you're going to suffer the consequences. But that's not what the scripture is talking about in terms of if you count it all joy when you fall into various trials and tribulations, for it produces patience and so on and so forth. And so, but if you do right and suffer, man, you're in a very good spot. Right. And one of the things I love about what it produces, what the scripture says, it says patience like the modern translation, but I love the old timey translation of it. It says long suffering. I think that's King James or something. Long suffering.